Welcome, and let's look at how to typeset content. So we shall, of course, in learning how to type, very many issues will come up through that. They shall have, for example, how to write the document, spell checkings on the fly. We shall have what we call word wrap, edit text and splitting paragraphs, showing and hiding paragraph symbols, creating bulleted lists, adding word to the custom spelling dictionary, formatting documents, which will involve selecting text with the mouse, floating the mini toolbar. So look at the bold, the italic. So we shall be doing all those things, but also in doing that, we shall again revise the naming and the saving of a file document. So let's begin by having our document, which we shall type slowly. And I have here document from King's College School. Now you realize there are some linings which are coming on our letter as we go on. Any word processor has its own word dictionary in it. So every time something comes up that is not corresponding with what it is supposed to have or what it has, it will bring up these lines, the red and the green one like that, such that it helps you identify if there is a problem or not. So for example, on our PO Box 256, we realize that these are small letters. So if you put the comma, for example, in between box and 256, the green one has gone away. Why is Uganda red? Because we started with a small letter. So let's choose this one. Put the cursor where the line is on the words that the line is having. Then right click. They will show you if there are any options you can use. If not that, then they will ask you to ignore it. If not that, they will ask you to add it to the dictionary. So in this case, we shall just choose what we think is the right one. Those are what we call spell checks on the fly. For us to go to the next line, you simply press enter. Or this typing is just done on your keyboard. I am sure all of you know what a keyboard is. Now we want to name what we call accessories. That means we need to number them. So we are going to number them. In numbering them, we shall have to come here. We can either use bullets for numbering or we can use the real numbers for numbering. Now you realize one thing. After you have finished the first one, when you want to go to the next one, you don't have to go down there and write 2. Press enter. It will automatically change from 1 to 2. And then when we are done with the 2, it will automatically change from 2 to 3 by itself. For example, we are done with the ones we needed to list. Problem is, we are continuing, because if we continue again, it will bring another thing. We can press enter. If we press enter and go to the next line, it will eliminate the 5 which is there. So that is what we do. Typing, we use the keyboard, and then going to the next line, enter. We need to put this address to the right. Word has put up a mechanism to do that for us. We simply have to highlight what we need to move, and then it will show us that it is aligned to the left. We want it aligned to the right, so we shall click here like this. If we want it in the middle, we shall click like that, and it will move. This is what we call under paragraph, under home and paragraph, we have what we call align. We have to the left, this one is center, this one is to the right, and this one is justified to make them equal at the extreme ends. Okay, let's now do some formatting on our document. And in formatting, we are looking at how to select a text with the mouth, floating a mini toolbar, bolding, italic, and the underline, aligning left, right, changing font size, and the color. So we're going to begin by selecting a text. For example, on our document, if we are going to select a text like this, selecting it means holding the cursor from the start of the text you want. Then you press the left click, hold on to it, and move it over the whole text you want. At the end, you release it. That's what we call selecting text with the mouth. So you have highlighted. You realize that there will always be what we call a floating toolbar next there. It just comes automatically. You highlight, immediately finish the highlight. Once you release like this, it comes up there. Now this one is what we call the floating minibar. You can use it to change the font type, font size, increase the indent of the text you have highlighted, that is increasing the size it is set, increase, reduce, and make bold. You can also use italic. For example, let's do some bold. Let's become bold. We can also change this font. We can change the font type. So that is what we call the floating toolbar. But of course, there is the real one up here, the main toolbar up here under font, which can do exactly what that mini toolbar has been doing. The mini toolbar is used just in case you don't want to go up there and look for where the font editing is. You can use it. Otherwise, you can come down here and change up the things to wherever you want it to be. You can undo by clicking on the same thing. When you click on it, there is that yellow coloring which comes in to show you that it is active, meaning if you want to deactivate it, we have to click on it again. We can make it a sentence case, we can make it a lower case, we can make it uppercase, capitalizing each word, so you don't have to struggle. You have already written the document in small case and then you delete, then begin writing it. Because you made a mistake, you didn't write it in a capital. No, just come here under font, let's change case, click on it. You can change it to both the lower case or upper case. You can begin a sentence, and everything will be okay. And then I want to align my document. I can begin by aligning if it is already to the left, but I can also align it to the center. You can also align it to the right. Then we can also justify. That's what we call aligning. Now there is this other part here under paragraph which is called line spacing. Choosing the distance between one line and another. So click on it. It is at 1.15, but we can put it at 1.5. You realize the spacing between our sentences changing. You can put it at 2. So depending on this difference between lines that you want in your sentences, you can do exactly that.
Little baby up in heaven says to God,